It was during her field visits while working with social work students at University of Nairobi as a lecturer that Dr. Wanjiku Kironyo visited Mathare slums. She was moved by the kind of lifestyle led by the residents, especially disabled children abandoned in the trenches of Mathare.
So the first time when I visited there, in an attempt to identify a place where I can send the student to do field work, when I got there, the first question I asked them is, does the government of this country know that you live here? Because I could not believe that there could be such a place. Even for us who were born and brought up in the rural area, you could never imagine there's anything like that in the city. So my initial visits, the people were very suspicious of me. They thought, if you're coming from university, you must be an undercover policewoman. So they never trusted me. The reason is because in Mathare Valley is a community where all kind of people, criminals, and they hide in those places. It's a hiding place.
This gave birth to Maji Mazuri Children's Center, whose goal is to give a new lease of life to these less fortunate and most vulnerable members of the society as a new perception of the community they live in order to possess a renewed self-esteem and courage to face what the future holds in store for them.
My frequent visit on a Wednesday afternoon, I witnessed a case where 2 children perished in fire. And then I asked the question, how did it happen? And at that moment, somebody said, don't let her know. Later on, I came to find out that there were disabled children who were tied by bed. And that was a very common practice for the children to be tied in the bed or locked up in the house, especially with the disability, because the condition in that area, a child cannot move around with the disability. So I decided that I would never want to see such a thing happen again. And then within a month, I noticed that there were several of them. And so initially, I took a few in my house, and gradually, I started a center, which is called Maji Mazuri Children's Center. And actually, how it became Maji Mazuri is because when one of the children came to the center, the child said, "Hii ni kama Maji Mazuri." So that is a child who gave the name of what you call now Maji Mazuri Center International.
On achieving this step, this was not the end of her journey towards improving the lives of others. Mothers of these children, who mainly happen to be single parents, are greatly driven to abandon their kids as a result of poverty. It was after this realization that Dr. Wanjiku initiated Maji Mazuri Mavuno Microfinance, initially designed to assist single mothers and widows to start small-scale businesses and earn a living for themselves and their families.
In the course of discussing with them every Wednesday, I realized that these women can also start some self-help activities. And so with the self-help activities, it gave birth to what is the microfinance project that we call Mavuno, where we have over 250 women who we give loans and they pay back, and we start them with 3,000. Once they pay back, we give them 6, then gradually we go on until 50,000 is our ceiling.
But this is not the only marginalized group in the country.
I always wanted to see those kids having a piece of land where we can move from the slum area. And thank God, over some time we have been able to acquire 36 acres of land. It is in Keseria. And when we got that land, initially we got 3 acres. The others, it is just gradually expanding it. But when we started building the school to move the children there, we realized that the Maasai girls who have been forced into arranged marriages were the first people who came to insist they wanted to be in the school there. And so we found ourselves now working with another marginalized group that are Maasai girls who have been forced into arranged marriages. So over some time now, we have been able to help them go through the primary school in our center there, go through high school, and many of them now have jobs, they have skills, they are self-employed, others have even gone up to university.
Many youths in the slum are faced by various circumstances that hinder them from becoming what they thought, and as a result turn into socio-delinquent activities.
Little girls at age 13 are sent to the street by the mothers to go and help bring the bread home. So those things really start touching me. And when I realized that even the little ones are exposed to this kind of problems, I decided to approach the YMCA to see whether they can allow these kids to be meeting there on a weekend. They allowed me once. and they say, no, we can't allow kids who have been in the street to YMCA because of our international visitors. So what I did, I approached the Kenya Scout. The Kenya Scout allowed me to be having work every last weekend of the month. I'll meet with these kids who have been in the street Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And so that is what gave birth to what you saw the youth in our program. Some of these young men you saw here, when I started, I was 7 years old. And the reason you can see me that I'm sitting back now is because they have taken over. They have taken over the program, they're running the program. I'm only a person who is a resource person to them.
Maji Mazuri Youth Group focuses on promoting socio-economic development among the youths from Mathare Valley.
One thing I can say, in the 24 years that I have worked with these youth in Mathare Valley, we have not had any one of them die because of AIDS or get involved in pregnancy or some of the things that affect the youth. However, when you hear them, when you hear that we initiated a program called Stop the Bullet, it's because in the course of our discussion with the youth, they were able to identify the various symbolic bullets that focus on the youth in the slums. That's what they're talking about: drugs, they're talking about alcohol, they're talking about AIDS, they're talking about being in prison when they are young, they're talking about being in the street as a prostitute when they are little kids, and all those kind of things. So, and also most of the people use the slum young people during the campaign, political rallies and all that. And so the Stop the Bullet is to help the youth design their own destiny and understand how sometimes they are exploited by other people for their own particular use.
The youth program incorporates 4 different programs, including talent programs, Stop the Bullet project, environment program, and the Maji Mazuri Mathare ICT training center.
The youth group has grown tremendously. It has with it a couple of activities that the youths do pursue. The activities are life skill trainings, entrepreneurship. We have an ICT center whereby the vulnerable youths from the community come on board and acquire some skills in web designing and computer literacy.
The environmental program, through an initiative called Green Heroes, focuses on organizing and improving waste management in Nairobi's informal Mathare settlement. They invest their time and efforts into sensitizing their peers and the community through regular garbage cleanup events, among other activities.
Green Heroes started as a cleanup activity, which has become a fully fledged garbage project. This has been through the support of the community, which has come in handy in its support. And we too have engaged the community in bringing them on board to the various activities that the group has to offer, or rather the organization as a whole has to offer.
On the World Environmental Day 2012, the group organized a communal cleanup day, a discussion on the green economy, and a football match that marshaled over 2,000 people. Their efforts earned them the Global UNEP Environmental Day Award of the Year, taking with them a prize of a fuel-efficient Kia Sorento car, which will go a long way in helping them achieve their goal of making a difference in the lives of their community members.
Well, today we stand here humbled youths in that we did participate in the World Environmental Day cleanup that has seen us win this noble vehicle that is just behind me. And it has not been easy in that we have some couple of challenges, but to us we've taken the challenges to be strengths that have worked towards uniting us, and we've tried to pull our ideas together to forge ahead.
This is not the kind of the vehicle that a boy and a girl from the slums of Mathare Valley can even have a hand on it. It is something that is far removed from them. To feel that they won it, they won the award, is first of all a big step forward. That they feel that the thing that they feel that is beyond their touch, now they can even touch it, they can feel it, you could even see them try to drive it. So the symbolically is a good feeling that we can do it. We are like everybody else. It is possible. We can do it. We can make it. And even the world out there can recognize us, because if there were only 3 institutions in the world that were recognized, and among the three, they were in one. It gives them motivation, it gives them encouragement. So psychologically, it has a major impact.
So my advice to the youth is that let's try as much to be resilient in what we want to achieve, because then it will take time though, but the results will pay off dearly.
Dr. Wanjiku Kironyo is leaving behind a mark that will have her remembered for giving her life selflessly for the welfare of the humanity.
I'm a strong believer that when you have a gap, a wide gap in the society, extreme between poverty and the rich, you can never be at peace. And this is what we are seeing right now today in Kenya, that we are no longer at peace in this country, is as a result that the gap has become wide and we have encouraged it. So my belief is that as much as possible, every one of us should always be working toward closing the gap, empower other people. And I appreciate the fact there is free education now, so that is going to even motivate our young people to think beyond the level of being exploited in the communities.
And as Martin Luther King Jr. said, a man has not begun to live until he can rise above the narrow confines of his own individual concerns to the broader concerns of all humanity. Josephine Wawira, GBS.